set these things up here. All right, let's kind of set this up like this. I'm just gonna, very informal. I want these videos. All right, we'll set this thing up like this and make it very informal because I want these videos to be like just us sitting in a, like sitting in a room together, like talking. So these videos, these insights, I think we're going to call them getting to know Jerry, or getting to know him, getting to know you. I don't know, we're going to call them something like that. But I figure these are topics that are like a little more sensitive. Some of them will be fitness related, some of them won't be. And yeah, so let's get started. So as many of you guys know, I went through heroin addiction. It's the biggest battle I've ever had to fight in my life. And the lasting consequences of it are you basically are addicted for life. Like your brain is wired for that drug now, and you just basically can't get away from it. I mean, that's all there's to it. You fight on a daily basis to try to stay clean. Some days are easier than others, etc. But I think many times people find me very aggressive and very on the offense rather than the defense. And that's true, you know, and I try to be not like that. I try to be not like aggressive and offensive, or offense, not offensive like I offended you, but offense, like on the offense. And of course, going through the heroin addiction, you have to go through therapy and you see a lot of counselors and stuff like that. And my one counselor, Peter, was really good. He was a former priest. He was an older guy, didn't take any shit, and a lot of tough love type shit where he'd just be like, well, you're just going to fucking fail. So what do you want to do? You know, you want to fail and die, or you want to give it a shot? Like, he was very cut and dry like that. And we found out that one of the reasons, or the reason I was so aggressive, was I got the shit beat out of me as a kid. I mean, literally, you know, when you really stop and think about it, where I grew up in Rhode Island was a very I would say a very like non-accepting way. It kind of, you know, growing up in New England and Warren, everybody kind of grew up the same way, you know, like in anything different than that would be considered like weird, or it just wouldn't happen. So growing up as a young kid, I was very shy. Like I was very shy, very timid, very kind of just didn't really want to be around a lot of people. I felt awkward and stuff. And that was as a little kid. Now, I did have a bunch of cousins, and we all lived in the same area. Like we lived like, you know, 10 minutes from each other and stuff like that. And, you know, you think about it like this, like I grew up with bigger cousins beating the shit out of me. Like whether they were mad at you, they beat the shit out of you. If they were happy with you, they beat the shit out of you. Like they beat the shit out of you. Like that's just how it went. And it's not like, you know, nowadays you don't see this shit, but it was like you get the shit beat out of you. Like, I mean, they weren't trying to really hurt you, but it was like, you know, dogs when they play, like they wrestle, they get snapping and stuff like that. I mean, you caught punches in the face, you know, kicks in the ribs, fucking, you know, choked, not unconscious because we didn't really know how to do that back then, but you know, you get fucking put in a headlock, fucking, I mean, you get beat up. I mean, you have lasting results from it, bruises, scrapes, scars, you know, cuts. I mean, luckily we didn't need stitches from the beatings and stuff, but got the shit beat out of me as a young kid, right? And then, you know, before even my cousins were beating the shit out of me, my parents would beat on me. And I don't mean that they would just get up in the morning and start beating on me, but by today's standards, if anybody ever saw the fucking beatings that we got from when we were bad, holy shit, our parents would probably be fucking locked up. Like we'd be in foster care in 2 seconds. You know, like it wasn't just like the back of your hand. It was like the front of your hand, the belt, which was my dad with a belt. I mean, he was a big fucking dude when I was younger. He was big. And that belt, I mean, I've caught the buckle a few times too. And I actually caught a belt in the face before when I stole money from my parents when I was very, very young. I didn't even understand the concept of like, you know, I stole like $5 or something like that. I didn't even understand the concept. I just thought like money, we're supposed to have money in our pocket. I didn't understand it. I was like a little kid. I didn't understand you're supposed to get a job. I had no idea. So I just went to my mom's purse, which I saw her take money out of, put money in my pocket and went to school. Like I didn't understand, but I got the biggest fucking lacing for that. So I'm getting the shit beat out of me by my parents, shit beat out of me by my cousins, who I spent a lot of time with when I was younger. Because you have friends in your neighborhood and shit, but you don't have that wide variety of friends like when you get a little bit older in junior high and shit. And then, you know, you do wind up going to school, and you got bullies at school. I was a very small kid. You know, I'm small and I'm timid because I'm getting the shit beat out of me by my parents because I'm usually I don't want to say a bad kid, but I do a lot of wrong things because I'm mischievous, you know. And I look back and I'm like, look, that was up to my. And at that age, that young age where you don't even make decisions on your own. I think it was lack of supervision that, you know, I would get into shit and then I would get a beating for it. It's like, well, if you were taught not to get into the shit in the first place, you wouldn't have to get the beating. But the parents somehow fucking drop the ball, and then the kid does something, and then the kid gets a beating to correct the kid. And it's not the kid's fault. He's a fucking kid. Get to school, timid little guy. The bullies pick up on that right away, and you're prey. So now I'm getting the shit beat out of me at school. I'm getting fucking punched around, knocked around. I finally fight back in like fourth or fifth grade or something like that. And Doug Vandenberg, I think I told the story before. Doug Vandenberg came up to me, a friend of mine. I was a kid. I was like in third grade or something. I don't remember, third or fourth grade. I don't remember what it was about, but he punched me in the stomach. Like his first punch was to the stomach. My dad had always taught me, like, if someone goes to hurt you, you fucking swing for their face first and as hard as you can. So he hit me in the stomach, and I realized, like, wait a minute, I'm not really hurt. And it took a split second to give this guy a fucking right cross to the eyeball, drop him. The whole fucking eye swelled up. I mean, it was like the whole thing was fucking swollen and black and blue. I guess I just hit him the right way. I didn't know how to punch or anything. And then his parents wound up at my parents' house, and it was a big fucking thing. But my parents were okay with the fact that I beat the shit out of this kid because he hit me first. Like, that's just where my parents were at. You know, they weren't like, violence is not the answer. They're good. He fucking hit him. Good. He hit him back. Get the fuck out of my house. Like, that's how my parents were. And then you get to high school, and I was a timid high school kid, skinny, very skinny, 130 pounds at 5'8", and into heavy metal music, which was not the most acceptable thing at that school. So I was kind of outcast to like the metalheads. But my cousin Christopher was a jock, and he was super popular, and he was a jock, and he was one of the ones that have been beating the shit out of me all along. And he didn't really want other people fucking with me. So, you know, the jocks and stuff, they didn't beat me up like they, you know, fucked with other people and stuff. They left me alone. But, you know, I did get some beatings from fucking other metalheads and shit, like just older kids and stuff. And, you know, you're getting beating after beating after beating. And then, you know, Christopher stepped up and went after some of those kids. Like, but it's like, you know, from birth, I've been taking these fucking beatings left and right, and didn't even like, till my counselor pointed out, like, you've had the shit beat out of you since you were very small in just about every area of your life. So by the time I get out of high school, when I'm actually like, you know, a young adult, now my mind shifts from, before I get hit, I'm going to hit first. Like, I'm going hard before that motherfucker can even raise their hand, no matter who it is. Like, no matter how big they are, whether it's fucking somebody I know, somebody I don't know, if I'm at a mall, if I'm at a club, no matter where I am, that motherfucker says two words to me, he's getting punched in his fucking face as hard as I can first, and then we'll figure it out from there. Like, if I get my ass kicked, at least it wasn't for fucking not trying. And sure enough, like, that worked out really well for me. Like, you punch first when somebody starts to fuck with you, there is no fucking way that you're going to be like, well, I'm going to go back to just taking beatings. You know what I mean? Because you hit first, those motherfuckers leave you alone. Sometimes you get into it and you scrap, but that first swing, that first punch really kind of sets the tone for you not to be a pushover anymore. Especially you, I mean, you throw it first, they know that you're not prey. They know you're going to fight. And some of them will take advantage of that and fight you back and beat the shit out of you. Some of them will just back up and be like, fuck, I didn't know he had that in him, you know? And that led me to bouncing in bars, you know, clubs and bars as a bouncer, 250, 270 pounds. Just somebody says something, you fucking grab them and throw them down a flight of stairs. You fucking kick them in the fucking nuts, hit them with a bar stool. I mean, I look back and it was like, you couldn't fucking look at me cross-eyed. You look at me sideways or say a fucking word to me without taking a swing at you, because I was bred to be fucking beat on, and I no longer wanted to be that punching bag for everything and everyone around me. So I grew my body to over 250 pounds so that I would look the part, so that would deter a lot of people from coming at me. And when they finally did come at me, I wasn't just big enough, but I was strong enough. And by now I had had 4 years of karate, including the team fight kids. I'd had so many street fights because I was getting shit beat out of me all the time. I had to fight back. So I had enough in my head to where I'd be able to handle myself, especially at that size, because I was a lot bigger than just about everybody. And every bar I went to and stuff, I was one of the biggest guys in the bar. And one of the guys, you know, that they knew was on steroids and stuff like that. So people kind of left me alone at that point. But yeah, like, I look back and I'm like, I was on the offense so much because I had no choice. I had no choice from having the shit beat out of me over and over and over again, that it was either fight back or continue to be this punching bag the rest of my life, and something just fucking snapped. So the thing is, now I'm 43. I understand where it comes from. I understand what it is. And I also understand there's no need for it anymore. Like, I just don't need to be the aggressive guy on the offense all the time because I'm not that young kid getting the shit beat out of me anymore. I don't need to be punch before I get punched. You know, strike first. Fuck, I sound like Cobra Kai over here. But that's just how that is. So, yeah, I think we'll do some more of these videos to getting to know Jerry about, like, stuff I didn't think about, stuff I didn't think people cared about. And maybe some of you don't give a shit about any of this stuff, but there are people out there right now that they're going through this shit, and like they're in the spot that I was in, or they're in the spot where I was in where I was trying to figure out why the fuck I feel like I need to fight everybody all the time and shit like that. And maybe these videos can help. So hopefully somebody learns from these lessons, because I paid the price for them already. They're free to you. I paid the price for them already. And, it molded me into who I am today, but hopefully these can help mold you guys into who you will be tomorrow. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. We're going to do more of these little intimate settings like this that are just us talking. So I'm Biostream. I approve this message, and we're out.